Hey YouTube, it's Anna is Growing. In this video, I want to talk to you about the 5 tips that I have for potting up your new catasetums and prepping them for their very, very rapid growth period in the summer, the spring, and especially the summer. So tip number 1 is to use good moss. You can see from this plant that I have not repotted just yet. This plant, you can see, is potted in excellent moss. And you can tell the color of it is really, really good. It's top quality. And this is just completely filled with roots, as you can see. This guy's gonna go in this pot eventually. Now, I use high quality moss myself. I have premium strand New Zealand sphagnum. I've kind of run out of it though, and I've got some stuff upstairs. It's not as good, but it's almost just as good. But that's what I have in here. And the reason why you want your moss to be so good is because, think about it, your plant is growing its roots into the moss and it's getting all of its nutrients from the moss. And if the moss is bad, if it has like some sort of mold or gross thing in it, it's going to cause the plant to rot. If your plant has good moss, it means that it can extract the proper nutrients from the moss when you pump it full of fertilizer. So you want good moss, right? Spend the extra money and get the good stuff. All right, the second is something that everybody knows, but I'm just gonna repeat, is to put something at the bottom of the pot. So you can use packing peanuts like Fred Clark does. I hate packing peanuts. I hate styrofoam. It makes me cringe. I use lava rocks at the bottom. And I think in Brittany's last video, maybe the one before the ants, but yeah, she talked about how she also puts lava rocks at the bottom of her pots. She's done packing peanuts in the past. You are bad. Get down, get down, down. So yeah, you really want rocks at the bottom. You want something to create aeration among the roots, at the bottom of the roots, because this is what keeps the rot away. Now, the third tip I have, tip 3, is to use a clay pot. Now, the reason why I do this is because last year I used plastic and my plants just flopped over all the time, right? Because think about it, the plant grows from here to a huge pseudobulb that's filled with leaves, and those leaves act almost as though they're like sails on a boat. So you put it outside, there's a gust of wind, and kerplop, the damn thing falls over, right? You don't want that to happen, because before you know it, you're gonna be repotting every 5 seconds. It's really, really annoying. So a heavier pot is better. Tip 4, use chopsticks and either a rubber band or some sort of tie. Shove those chopsticks down into your lava rocks, into whatever it is that you have that you're using, and then tie the old bulb to those sticks. And the reason for this is that it holds everything in place. It keeps everything from wobbling around, and this protects your little roots, right? You want your roots to grow, you want them to be happy, and if they're flopping around all the time, they're gonna break off and they're gonna die and they're gonna be unhappy. Nobody wants that. Oh, also, an aside tip, watch out for these pokey things. They are sharp as hell. Oh my gosh. Ugh. All right, and then the 5th tip I have is the position of the plant. So you always want to face your plant with the new growth outward so that it has all this room to take up to get fat and happy. But you also want to position your plant on top of the moss. On top of the moss. On top. On top. The reason for this, and I learned this the hard way, is that if you have your plant sort of stuck into the moss, it will rot. I'm telling you, it will rot. You're gonna water this thing so often, it is going to get dry so fast, it is going to starve, it is going to be begging you to put more and more fertilizer in, and the more water you add, the longer it's moist, and that's when rot sinks in. If it's atop of the moss, it will grow down, the roots will grow down, and the pseudobulbs will be protected. Right on, those are your 5 tips. Happy growing!